The dawn of the Victorian age. Queen Victoria came to the throne at 18 in 1837. Her long reign till 1901 saw dramatic progress in science and economics and important social reforms. In 1840, she married Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Their example of devoted family life with 9 children was a model of respectability. Albert became Prince Consort and Victoria's main advisor. The 1830s saw important social reforms. In 1832, the first, or Great Reform Act, widened the right to vote to the middle classes, and the Factory Act in 1833 limited the working hours of children. The Poor Law Amendment Act in 1834 created workhouses where the poor could live for free in return for work, but they were hated for their cruel conditions. A second Reform Act in 1867 widened the right to vote further, influenced in part by the Chartist movement, where a group of radicals had written a People's Charter demanding more rights. The movement failed, but they influenced the widening of the franchise, and the secret ballot became law in 1872. A tragic potato famine in Ireland in 1845 brought many deaths and mass emigration to America. It also persuaded the British Prime Minister, Sir Robert Peel, to abolish the Corn Laws in 1846. In 1851, a great exhibition, organised by Prince Albert, showed the world Britain's industrial and economic progress. It was held in the Crystal Palace, a huge structure of glass and steel in Hyde Park, which hosted more than 15,000 exhibitors from all over the world. The money made was used to set up several museums in London: the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, and the Victoria and Albert Museum. Construction work on the London Underground began in 1860, and railways transformed the landscape and people's lives. To protect the opium trade, Britain was involved in 2 opium wars against China from 1839 to 1860. The result was that Britain gained access to 5 Chinese ports and control of Hong Kong. In India, British troops put down a rebellion in 1857, the Indian Mutiny, and took more direct control. Britain helped Italy gain independence from the Austrians and supported Turkey against Russia. This led to the Crimean War, the first with direct journalistic coverage. It is also famous for Florence Nightingale's nursing organisation of the wounded. The Victorian age was one of huge progress, but also of moral hypocrisy. Great poverty existed alongside great wealth. Generous philanthropy next to openly indulged vice. This Victorian compromise meant that although religion and respectability were praised, they sometimes covered the injustice and hardship just below the surface. The rapid social changes gave rise to new philosophies and religious movements. Evangelicalism emphasized moral conduct. Bentham's utilitarianism was based on practical usefulness and the happiness of the majority. This emphasis on reason was criticized by Charles Dickens and John Stuart Mill, who believed in progress through social reform, education, and art. Charles Darwin introduced a revolutionary theory of evolution and natural selection in his book On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. British Catholics replied with the Oxford movement, led by Cardinal John Henry Newman, returning to the traditions of their faith.